Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Elena, good to see you. As you know, Christmas is right around the corner, so my husband and I started to decorate our Christmas tree, and I realized that we don't have a Christmas tree skirt. So I wanted to tackle the project and make one myself. So I think it turned out pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you everything that I did, and then you can make one of your own. If you would like this video, and please subscribe, it would really help support me. So my Christmas tree is 56 inches in diameter. So I wanted to do about that width in a circle. So I bought fabric that was about 56 to 60 inches wide, and then I went ahead and got 1 3/4 yards of fabric so that I would have a bit of a margin of error. So you're going to take the first layer of your fabric, fold it in half lengthwise, and then fold it in half again so that it's kind of squarish shaped. Make sure that all of your edges are lined up as good as you can get it. Once you have everything folded and it's nice and crisp, you are going to start by making the little center circle. So I basically measured 3 inches from that corner, pinned it into a semicircle, and then just cut and then opened it just to make sure it looks like a nice clean circle. To cut the outside of the circle, you first have to figure out what you want that length to be. So I wanted my diameter of my skirt to be the same as the diameter of my tree. So what you're going to do is to take that diameter, mine is 56, divide it by 2, subtract whatever that center circle radius was, in our case 3, and then that's the length that I wanted to measure out, which was 25 inches. Go ahead and measure that 25 inches all the way around and pin it or mark it somehow, and then cut it out just like you did that tiny circle. After I cut out this quarter of my circle, I folded it in half again, just to make sure that all my edges seemed nice and round and even and straight all the way around. So I just trimmed off a little bit where it seemed like it was sticking out. Once you have your top layer of fabric all cut out, you can go ahead and basically do the exact same thing for your second layer. I'm using a nice cream fluffy Sherpa, so I'm just laying it out, making sure it's all nice and smooth, and then folding it in half twice to get the same shape and size that I had previously. You could do the same measuring technique as you did before, but I'm a little bit lazy, so I just laid the previously cut out semicircle and placed it on top of my new fabric, and basically just cut using that as a pattern piece. This fabric was so thick, so I ended up just doing the top 2 layers first and then did the bottom 2 layers second, and that made it a lot easier, and I was able to do it much more precisely. Go ahead and lay everything out kind of how you will want it, just to make sure that everything's lined up, because the next step is to pin it. So you want to make sure that all the edges are matching up and lining up really nice and evenly. If anything isn't lining up, just go ahead and trim it so that it's looking really clean and crisp. Once you feel like they are matching up really well, then you can go ahead and pin all the way around the outside circle edge and then that inside circle edge. Do a lot of pins. This might take a lot depending on how big your Christmas tree is, but you definitely don't want it sliding around. Make sure that you're pinning your fabric right sides together. At this point, I have everything pinned, and I'm just making sure that everything is once again all lined up. I never went ahead and did that clean cut around that inside circle, so that's just what I'm doing here. So before you sew it, you need a slit in your skirt so that you can put it around your Christmas tree. So pick a spot somewhere at the bottom and cut a line straight up to that center circle. Before you do any actual sewing, you need to put your ribbon ties and connect them to that slit that you just created. So I am using 1/4 inch ribbon, and I'm cutting out a few pieces that I can use for ties. I cut mine about 6 inches long, but you could do yours any length, depending on what kind of bow you want or what kind of tie that you want. I started with doing 3 on each side, but I decided that I actually wanted 4 ties in total. So I needed 8 pieces of ribbon, 1 for the left side and 1 for the right side. Take your ribbon, open up your fabric, which is right sides together, and stuff that ribbon in, and then pin the edge of your ribbon to that edge of your slit, because that's where you're going to sew. So when you fold your tree skirt right side out, you'll have ribbon sticking out and it will look really nice and clean. Make sure to leave a 3 to 5 inch hole on the bottom so that you have somewhere to fold your tree skirt right side out. At this point, you can just go ahead and start sewing all the way around where you pinned, including going over all of your ribbon ties. Make sure that you're using just your normal seam allowance, and please don't run out of bobbin like I do literally every single time. I swear it's a curse. Once you've gone all the way around, you can fold your tree skirt right side out using that little hole that you left. Once you've folded it out completely, now it's time to close up that hole that you left for yourself. So at this point, you could overstitch all the way around, but I wanted my tree skirt to look really full and fluffy and luxurious. So because I'm not doing an overstitch all the way around, I just decided to do a quick whip stitch to close that pocket. So basically you're just going to fold both raw edges in and hand stitch it shut. This doesn't have to be super tight and neat because this is going in the back corner of your Christmas tree on the floor. After that, you can admire this shot that I'm trying to be super cute and aesthetic, but instead all you're seeing is my frizzy hair and my blue sweatshirt. But you get the gist. Okay, so here is that cute aesthetic shot that we were talking about. Please look how cute this is. I love the color combination. The ties turned out so good, and it matches my Christmas tree so well. Oh, I really love it. I hope that you loved it too, and I hope that you're able to make something similar. Please like and subscribe. It would really help support my channel.